And we are back with another episode of the Hockey Princess podcast. I'm your host, the Hockey Princess. We have Crusty Old Guy once again. Guys, just as a reminder, make sure to hit that like and subscribe on either Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, however you watch or listen to us ramble on a weekly basis. Leave us a review, give us a 5-star rating, or whatever rating you want to. But give us a 5-star one and then leave us a review with your actual thoughts. If you are going to a game this season, please just a reminder, please wait for the whistle. Do not get up while the puck's in play. The beer will be there, the food will be there, and the bathroom will still be there. And if you are going to a Blackhawk game at any point during this year, highly recommend Su Taqueria El Rey del Taco over on Ogden. The food's great, the people are lovely, and it's only a couple of blocks away from the United Center. Yes.
Can I ask a question and speed bump everything?
Absolutely.
How do you do a 5-star review?
You go on to Spotify.
Or it's got to be Spotify?
No, you go on to whatever platform you listen.
Okay.
And then there should be at the bottom a way to rate. We do have 5 stars on Spotify.
There should be on the bottom a way to rate.
I believe you got to click on the show already. I believe you have already done this, or I have already commandeered your phone to do this.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm looking. When I do Neil's show, you'll have to run it through me again. And I'm sorry. Let's just carry on.
Okay.
I don't know what I was thinking of with these questions, but
Speed bump number 1.
Yes.
Getting into the NHL world, we really don't have a ton because it's early and not a ton of things are happening. But Krusty and I went on an adventure, and I think we should talk about our said adventures.
Is that what you think?
Yes.
Okay.
So we went to Winnipeg, and we'll get to the game a little bit later with talking about the Big Boy Club. But we went to Winnipeg, and it was great. And I'm very much convinced that breakfast is just better in Canada because I've had great brunch in Montreal. I've had great brunch in Ottawa. I've had great brunch in Winnipeg. Great food in Calgary. I think brunch is just so good in Canada.
Yeah, I think they need to beef up for the winter. So they like that first meal to be nice and big. But yeah, we had some great breakfasts.
That was some great. I'm still thinking about the Turkish eggs from Clementine. Oh my God. If you're going to Winnipeg or if you live in Winnipeg and you haven't been there, it's magic. It's absolute magic. I could have eaten everything on the menu, but I still think about the eggs.
I could have also, but I found out that chicken's is also for breakfast.
Yes, fried chicken delicious. Is everywhere in Manitoba.
Yes, it is.
It's insane. I love it, but wacky.
Yes.
But yeah, Winnipeg was nice. There were definitely fun things to do. I think everybody lowered my expectations that I talked to like prior to going. So I really went in with no expectations, but I liked the city. Chrissy, what were your thoughts?
I liked it. We came in from the airport, and of course, we took public transportation because that's how you get to see the real people.
Exactly.
And it just nothing seemed busy the whole way to the stadium. And we stayed, about a block away. So I just thought nobody was there. But then when we went out and about Friday and went like 3 blocks in the other direction, there was, so there was a whole city feel to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as, we stuck basically, except for the Cat Cafe that I went to, we stuck.
Yeah, guys, wait until I drop the pictures of Crusty Old Guy at the Cat Cafe. He's a cat whisperer.
I am the cat whisperer. Me and the bully cat bonded right away. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful moment. But yeah, I like the city. Again, I really enjoyed, this is a reminder for anybody who's going to a game in Winnipeg. If you're thinking about going, make sure you're on the aisle. Seat number 1 doesn't always mean you're on the aisle. So if Hockey Princess can drop that picture, here I am. I sit on the aisle. That's the way I operate for just about anything.
He's mental to sit on the aisle.
Yeah, I'll go back 3 rows as long as I get on the aisle. So I figured seat number 1, that's on the aisle. Yeah, we went to our seats and there's a glass partition. There is no aisle. I got to go past everybody. So double check that if you're going to a game in Winnipeg. But
also, if you're going to a game in Winnipeg, or if you've been to games in Winnipeg, what is with everyone fighting during the games? Guys, it's been a long time since I've seen like a good fight in a hockey arena. And there was one screaming match. Shout out to the usher. I'd want to be her when I grow up. And 2 was a full out throwing hands fight in the lower bowl.
Girl fight.
Game.
Girl fight.
What is happening?
Yeah, that I don't know. The lady handled the screaming guy well.
Oh my God.
Again, if you're just new and starting to go to sporting events, trust me, turning around and swearing and yelling at the people that work there is not going to go well.
Also, just like don't yell at them. Like, this is a PSA. Not that I think our listeners would do this, but can we just be nice to the people who work at these hockey games, regardless of which hockey game you go to? Just be nice. Don't be a dick.
Yeah, and I think this guy had something. It wasn't handled properly, but then went nuts about it, and that's what I could piece together. But as a piece of advice, it's not going to end well for you because they have the ability to just go, time for you to leave.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. In the Chick-fil-A, I don't know what's going on. We were lucky we had 2 guys sitting in front of us that have had tickets since the Jets came back. His brother played with, our captain. So,
guys, we got story time of Jonathan Toews for the entire night. It was the best part of it.
Yes, it was. Well, I don't know. I also had a rather big bone Batman dancing by me, and that was very entertaining also. So I don't know if you're going to drop any pictures of there, but I think we made eye contact once, and he could tell that I was entertained by him.
I have no photos of the Batman.
I've got a photo of the Batman. It was neat, but it was Halloween, and found out they take their Halloween a little seriously there.
Yeah.
Or it was the day before Halloween, but
they still take it seriously.
Yes. Okay. Anything else you want to say about Winnipeg?
No, it was fun. It was good. Really liked the rink. It's on this. Everyone kept saying, yeah, but it's small. And I don't know, to me, like small doesn't equate that it's like a bad rink. Because I think there's definitely some pretty massive rinks that I'm not the biggest fan of. Madison Square Garden, you know who you are. But I liked it. It was very new. I still found it like I understand the like saying that it's been 15 years because 15 years of a continuous run, but I still found it weird because I'm like, you guys were here before.
Yeah, and for me, smaller is always better.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just you're closer to the action. I think it's Winnipeg, no different than like St. Louis. There's an ego thing that goes that you're not one of the big boys in Montreal or Toronto or this or that you defend everything. So I think maybe there was just some of that.
Yeah, I think Winnipeg fans need to lose that. Because yes, you're a smaller market, but you're playing better than some of the bigger markets in Canada right now. So y'all are doing fine.
Yeah.
All right. You got anything in the NHL world, Krusty?
I don't think so. I think we can tackle that a little bit later. So rather get to other stuff, and we'll let the NHL ferment for another week.
That's fair.
Whatever ferment means. It sounded really good, and I need to use words that are more than just 4 letters.
That's fair. All right, prospect report, guys. We have a lengthy prospect report this week. We've got starting off with our buddy Jack Pridham with the Kitchener Rangers with 2 goals and 1 assist. You've got Merrick Vanacker with 3 goals for the Brantford Bulldogs. Parker Holmes with 2 assists for the Brantford Bulldogs. Put a spell on you with the Windsor Spitfires with 1 goal and 1 assist. Nathan Bem from the Kamloops Blazers with 2 goals and 1 assist. Ashton Cumby with the Seattle Thunderbirds with 3 assists this weekend. Anton Frendel with 2 assists this past week. Christy, you know what I am slightly confused about with Anton Frendel?
Life?
Not really like his playing or anything, but everybody likes
Life
to say
401ks?
Speed bump number. I've lost.
Well, you said things that you're confused about.
Yes. Speaking of Anton Frendel.
Yes.
And everybody's like, the SHL is a better league for him to be in because it's a professional league and all of these things. They play once a week. They play less than Rockford does. They play less than juniors do. I don't know. It was something that I found odd.
Is that every week, though?
Yeah, it's like 1 to 2 games a week. 2 at max. Like, he's not playing a ton.
Well, he's practicing a lot.
Yeah.
And again, they play really good structure. And again, it's a man's league.
Yes, but that just threw me for a loop this week when I was looking through. I'm getting really good at like trying to like piece together what Swedish words are on the website because I can't translate it to English. So I just click enough buttons and then it shows me at some point what happened during the game, the Swedish version of a box score.
They have Google Translate.
It doesn't prompt to translate. And even when it does, it still doesn't translate the full page.
But you can't do like your phone and translate it?
No, I just guess.
Okay. I'm just saying, I'm pretty skilled with technology. So I wanted to let you in on that one.
Mm-hmm. So, like I said, we got 2 assists with Anton Frendel. Roman Kanserov with 22 points in 22 games in the KHL. One of the top guys in the KHL right now. I think at this point, Krusty can get slightly excited for this kid.
Slightly.
Slightly.
I'll give you slightly because again,
we're done mocking the people that are excited.
Well, they're very excited. And I'm working on just not mocking anybody for being excited because excited is good.
Excited is
nothing
good.
wrong with being excited. But again, with him, it's a great start. But again, he stated that, he'll deal with his contract once this contract is up. There was no saying, I'll be there when this contract is up. He just said, yes, go ahead.
Do you think that has to do with the position of what the rosters look like in Chicago and Rockford? Because I would imagine Kanserov will come over if there's a place in Chicago. I think if the expectation is you come over to play in Rockford, he's like, I'd rather just sign another contract in the KHL. Do you think he's waiting? Because, to be honest, and this goes along with a lot of the younger guys, we don't know what spaces are going to be open for these younger kids coming into the end, like from trade deadline into the start of next year. We don't know how many spaces are going to be open. Heck, Landon Slaggert could be traded next week, which we'll get to that. I'm still a little bitter. But do you think he's keeping it up in the air just because there's a lot of uncertainty with how many spots are going to be available in Chicago and what those spots are?
I don't believe so. I think with him, there's a spot for him. That's a top 6 talent, right?
Maybe.
There's a spot for him. We don't have much. Okay, so there's definitely a spot for him. I don't think he's being blocked by a Nick Lardass or anybody else. I think it's number one, he signs an entry-level deal. I have to figure he's going to be paid a lot more in the KHL.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to money. A great question for some of our media to be asking towards the end of the year or mid-season is, will there be a guarantee of I'm not going to Rockford? I think yes, there's something to do with that. I don't think he has any desire to sign and then go to Rockford. I think there might be a contingency that if he signs, he's either on the big club or he's going back to the KHL. I mean, that would make sense to me. So I think it's more of that. I mean, we're still a low-tiered team. I mean, there's spots. I mean, nothing's going to be handed to you, but
I'm gonna call BS slightly because we never know what Kyle's gonna do. We were told that there were spots, and then there was the Sam Lafferty signing, and now Savvy doesn't have a spot. So I think there can be the illusion that there are spots, but we just don't know. And
yes, but I'm gonna go off on a completely different tangent.
that's fine.
This is a position I don't find myself in a lot.
Defending.
I will be KD defender. I am KD defender.
Okay.
At the end of the day, with that being said, come on. I would much rather have Sam Lafferty practicing and watching every game than Savvy practicing and watching every game. So Lafferty does fit a perfect purpose of just being a body that can practice, and then I can put in the organ loft.
You don't think we could have found another body?
I think it's all the same. They weren't going to play. So I think if you're sitting somebody, you want somebody like that. You don't want somebody young sitting. I want them playing somewhere. With that being said.
And you didn't have that in Lucas Reichel?
I think Lucas was, as I said, they've been trying to trade Lucas for 9 months.
Right, but you're looking for a body.
Yeah, I think they were looking for somebody who could collect a paycheck, be a good pro, and wouldn't be butthurt that they weren't playing. If I'm Lucas Reichel, trust me, I'm 24 years old? You're darn tooting I'm butthurt that I'm not playing hockey.
Yeah.
Sam Lafferty's an old man. Collect your money and move on. I mean,
right. I'm just saying that there were bodies.
But
I don't have the faith of no one's going to be blocked. If he wants people blocked, he's going to block them. And so I think going back to Cancerov, I think he's going to be uncertain with it because there are a lot of uncertainties right now. We don't know who's going to be flipped during the year. We don't know how many guys could be flipped during the trade deadline. Last year, we went in with the expectation that more guys were going to be flipped and really nobody was. So I think he's got a lot of uncertainty because maybe we've communicated that there's some uncertainty.
Well, that is some of that is a discussion for another time, but it'll be very interesting for what KD decides to do with Mickey Mouse in players like that. Bukowski has 1 more year left, I think. So, yeah, are you planning to just move? Are you planning to I would assume that your game plan is to ship them all out and bring in more kids. So that's why I think there's space. So, and again, I don't want any kid watching for too long. And yes, I expect any kid to not be a complete professional and be butthurt if they're not playing.
Oh, yeah.
I know a lot of people saying, well, you got to be a team. Mm-mm. You're a young kid. This is your career. This is your livelihood. If you're not going to play me here, trade me or send me down.
Period. I mean, and then they get traded to San Jose, or then they leave to go to San Jose, not traded, but then they just leave. And now they're killing it with the Sharks.
Yes. And again, that's killing it with whatever. So we won't get too much into the Kerr stuff. That's more fodder for everybody who just likes to over dramatize everything.
I don't know. I love to talk about Philip Kurashev's success. But getting back to Prospect Report.
Okay.
You've got 1 goal from John Mustard out of Providence College, 1 assist from Sasha Boisvert for Boston University, 1 goal and 1 assist for Vaclav Nestrasil out of UMass. And then last but certainly not least, my new favorite prospect to talk about. Well, new favorite this year. And that is your Adam Guyon. 1 win and 1 loss against University of North Dakota. This was the first interconference matchup that the Bulldogs had. They went in with a lot against them because they've really struggled against North Dakota for the considerable past years. But so he was able to pull 1 win and 1 loss, and you're sitting at a .917 after all of his games so far.
All right.
Cressy, you got anything? I know you don't, but I just
I do.
You do?
No, I really don't have any. Yeah, I do. No, I'm just the one person that I'm glad to being off to the hut. Vanaker could be a piece, and that's a little bit bigger body, not a huge body, but a little bit bigger body. That if he has the ability to play with top 6 talent, could be huge, and he seems to be doing that right now. So
yeah,
I'm happy with that.
Would definitely agree. I think I don't necessarily know what I expected, but I also know that there are some bigger pieces in Brantford right now. Like you've got the Jake O'Brien, who was like a top 15 pick this past draft. I think Brantford has one of the guys that's expected to go relatively high this upcoming year. So I kind of expected, that they would get all of the, bright, shiny light, hot moments, but he seems to be doing everything right so far in Brantford. Jumping to Rockford. Guys, it's bad. It's bad. It's bad. We lost twice. Stanislav Berezhnoy is out, so you got a Mitch Weeks call up. Drew Commesso was in the first game. Both games this weekend were against the Grand Rapids Griffins. Berezhnoy was, Commesso was in the first one, and then you had Weeks for the second game. I have been tooting the same horn for the past couple of weeks of both clubs need significant discipline. You definitely saw that with Rockford this weekend. They were just it was a mixture of like going through the motions and just like starting off slow and not able to catch up really. I think they tried, but I think Grand Rapids just kind of had their way with them for both of the games. Yeah, not really a ton of bright, shiny things. Of course, the Lardass still continues to amaze. Core looked fine. It was kind of just it just looked very undisciplined and unstructured. And I think Commesso had a hard time in the first game, and it seems to be a thing. Granted, there's a lot of things that Commesso does right. I still believe that Commesso is the future of goaltending in Chicago. But one of the patterns that I've seen is when Rockford gets off to this slow start and the couple of go in pretty quickly, because when they're off to a slow start, they're down 2-0 in the first 10. He has a hard time shaking that off, which I think, granted, that's a goaltender thing in general, but it makes it easy for it to be a sort of a 6-2 situation. And so that's why I'd like to see a bit more structure just in front of him, because there's no reason that for the first 10 minutes of the game, it should be just Drew Commesso desperately trying to keep you in the game. Lot of kind of veteran support. You had some good moments from Jackson Cates this weekend. You had some good moments from the Senny. Another shining star that I haven't talked about in a couple of weeks because I got the hint that I should not be talking every single week during the Rockford Report is we have a savvy goal, friends. We have a savvy goal during the second game. It was, I will say, He's only scored 3 goals so far, but they've all been at very, very important moments when the kid needs to score, when Rockford needs that extra push. He's there, putting the puck in the net. Great weekend by Savvy. I will say, he hasn't been the most present in terms of putting the puck in the net, but he's definitely upped his defensive game. I think I maybe would even lead into the statement of he's stronger in his own area than he is in the offensive, which I'm perfectly fine with the amount of offensively skilled prospects that struggle in their own end. I'm okay that Savvy's kind of on the flip side, but he's definitely grown into having a stronger defensive presence, which I think is also great just with his size and his ability and constant motor to make opportunities. Even if the opportunity isn't happening or doesn't pan out, he's consistently just trying to make things happen with his line. And I think that's a great piece because he's also on the other wing of Misiak, who, is a little bit smaller, is more of if he has the opportunity to put the puck in the net, put the puck in the net, kind of guy. So I think he has definitely not been the flashiest with Rockford, but has been kind of very much silently upping his game within the first couple of weeks of this season.
Okay.
Which is why I was a little bugged that he was not the one that was called up. We have Rebel Yell that was called up, and we'll get to that during the Big Boy Club talk. But you have Oliver Moore called up, and you have poor dear Landon Slaggert sent down. I know there were a lot of people saying that this may be a good thing. I think timing has not been Slaggert's friend going into the beginning of this year. He's sick, comes in for a little bit, gets hurt, and then really hasn't found his footing since he's come back. And so I hope, it's got to hurt his confidence a little bit going back, but I hope that it, maybe just more puck production boosts his confidence in turn a little bit. But also I think this was kind of a 1-for-1 to see what Moore can do on the big level.
Yeah. Landon is what he is. Savvy is what he is.
And we love Savvy for it.
Moore, you're unsure. You think there might be a potential of a top 6 role just with his speed. That's what I'm being told. Yes. Did you have a question?
Well, there was one thing that I wanted to disagree with because a lot of people with this 1-for-1 were kind of seeing it as an even exchange. Landon Slaggert and Oliver Moore are not the same type of player.
No, Landon Slaggert is more of a third line, more of a defensive player.
Right.
You saw it in Moore's first game. Oliver Moore is still looking to go the other way. For Krusty, I call that he's cheating. But again, you sent him down to Rockford. You said, play well and we'll find a spot for you. And he played well. So you're telling him, hey, we have a spot for you. Landon has just been, It lets Landon know, hey, everything's got to be upped. Everybody is fighting for a position, especially the players that are waiver exempt. If you have the ability to go down to Rockford, you better be on your game. The perfect example of that right now is Colton Dock, who can't seem to finish to save his life. But all he needs is 2 games of not playing heavy and not at least sticking his nose in, and he'll be sent right down to Rockford. Because they've made his role completely clear of what he needs to do. So as far as those guys, they're all and I think they wanted to give Moore a look. They're mesmerized by the speed. KD is in love with the kid. We know that.
Yeah. And
He
And I
is.
don't want to make it seem like I'm hating on the kid because I definitely am not. I just kind of disagree with the narrative that is being spun about his time in Rockford. I think he has done incredible things. I think he's put up great numbers, but I think that was kind of the expectation, at least for me. And being paired with Nick Lardis, you're going to put the puck in the net. And I think that's kind of the only thing that's being seen. And I would have just liked to have seen him challenged in Rockford in areas that he struggles in, because it seems very similar to kind of how Bash and Pop is sheltering Artie. Moore and Lardis were put out in particular positions for them to succeed. They haven't really, it doesn't seem like anything's changed on the struggles that Moore has. And I just wish he would have been challenged more at the AHL level with that than being thrown up there with this magical narrative of this kid's perfect.
Yeah, well, I think we both know he's not perfect, and
that's okay. Nobody's perfect.
there's a lot of work that needs to be done. The difference between him and Landon is Oliver Moore's more of a creator offensively than Landon Slaggert is, and odds are good than Landon Slaggert will ever be. So it's just kind of the way it is. They want the excitement. You know, if it costs them a goal going back the other way, that's okay, as long as there's excitement going back the other way. And I don't have a big problem with that either. You know, people like Slaggert, people like Savvy, only going to be a certain amount of spots for them in the bottom six role, and they're all going to be fighting for them. I mean, Landon's calling card is more of a defensive specialist. Savvy's calling card is more of his game, he needs to agitate. He needs to whatever, yell at people in French, English, whatever, but his job is to get underneath people's skin. So all vital parts, I don't know how it all plays out. That's the thing with a ton of picks. You know, with anybody who's in the bottom six role, if you can score, that automatically increases your value.
Yeah.
So there you have it. That's my little take on all of that. I don't have a problem with the move. I don't have a problem with lighting a little bit more of a fire for Landon Slaggert. You know, I'm a big Landon Slaggert fan.
Yeah, same. I just had more of a problem with people thinking that it was a 1-for-1 even exchange. And I'm like, they're not the same type of player. If you wanted to switch Landon Slaggert out for the same type of player, you would have called up Savvy. They're just different in type of guy.
And again, Savvy's different than Landon too. It's just everybody, you know, it's so.
Yes, but I think Savvy's a closer comparison than I would say Oliver Moore. But I'm also just been friggin' itching for that kid to get.
I know. I've got a barking dog. Carry on. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
So that's kind of it with Rockford. You know, a couple of losses. I think, you know, they're definitely itching for Brezhnev to come back. We'll see who steps up with Moore. Depends on how long Moore is called up for. We shall see. It'll be very interesting, but not a great weekend for the boys.
Okay.
Jumping to Big Club. We have games. We don't have a win to talk about, though. Also, as a reminder, folks, at the time of recording, we have not played Vancouver yet. But I know by the time this comes out, we'll have played Vancouver. So this is just done a little early because I did not want to tape this after the Vancouver game because that'd be late. So first game, we have our Winnipeg game, our magical Winnipeg game. The captain, seeing the captain again was great. I didn't cry, which I kind of thought I might, but that's solely reserved for when Showtime comes back. Yeah. I don't know, Christy. I thought it was fine. I thought they played fine.
Wow. Inside jokes that nobody knows, and we're not going to
Exactly.
explain that one to them either.
Nope.
Um,
No, in all seriousness, I think, and this is kind of why I made it a big point this week during the Monday preview, and I'm a little just more harpy on it than Krusty is. It just seemed very undisciplined, and it seemed like this was a men versus boys game. And that's not a knock to the young guys that we do have, but you know, Winnipeg is definitely good and consistent and has been for the past couple of years, and they're all older up in Winnipeg. I mean, you've got a couple of guys that are like 25 maybe, but everybody is a very much a seasoned veteran up for the Jets, and we've got a lot of, you know, moving pieces, new pieces, and so it definitely was, it just seemed like a men versus boys game.
yeah, you know, they were fine. I was told by multiple sources that they were fine, so I'm going
Then
to
Krusty
say
went ape shit.
I'll go ape shit. I just didn't think they were fine. At the end of the day, you're 2 periods in, and it was a 4-0 game. Let's be honest. You scored a goal by a magic puck flying out and hitting a wide open Tavo. That was it. Did Hellebuyck play unbelievable those first 2 periods? No. A great stop on NASCAR on the breakaway, but nothing's phenomenal. You know, what was pointed out to me is, you know, well, this is a team that if you make a mistake, they make you pay. Well, that's 3/4 of the NHL. Yes, if you make it, and that's what it came down to. Creature with a bad pinch, the Dick with a bad play, and the Pickle with a bad play, and all 3 of them went in the net. So, yeah, if we can take away all of our mess ups, we almost played even with them. Maybe. Not really, but maybe. And then, you know, the third period, more of a garbage time. They're looking to wind down the clock. But again, you know, you might have the goal of the year also.
That was disgusting. We were right there.
Yeah. I mean, it was a heck of a play by the Barracuda.
Yeah.
But I'm under the impression this year that the level goes up a little bit. And I think I'm being told that I've had shit sandwiches for 2 years. And the fact that if I put anything in between that bread that's not shit, it's great. I just don't think that completely. So I don't consider it fine. It was below par. It was very sloppy at times. And that's just kind of the way it was. But
You know who
again,
played great?
multiple fronts said it was fine. So I'm going to go with the fine because, you know, no matter what most people think, you know, Krusty's not right all the time.
Yes, but do you know who had a good game?
Who had a good game?
We've switched the jerseys on the back wall, friends. In honor of him playing good this weekend, and in honor of everybody getting off of the Artie hate train that is, in my opinion, one of the sillier trains.
Yeah, we just live in that world, don't we? That everything's instant reaction and bust, oh my God, this or that. And like everything else out there, it seems like people kind of dig their heels in to what they think, and it takes a lot to change their minds. And, you know, I'm probably no different in certain things also.
I'm definitely no different.
But no, Artie's played well. Rue, you know, if you want to go over a talking of the Artie right now, we can.
Yes.
Is he being protected?
Yes.
Yes.
Is that okay? Yes.
Yes. The objective is to put people in positions to succeed.
Yes.
That's what Bash is doing with the 11 and 7, and that's what he's doing with Artie. I will say this now. In a 3-year span, at some point in time within the next 2 years, that kid's going to get angry. And once that kid plays angry and decides to completely run through people, watch out. Watch out. I don't know when that's going to happen. I think it's going to take teammates pulling him aside saying, I need more. Because you have yet to see the levels of this kid yet, if you ask me.
No, the ceiling. We're not seeing the ceiling.
Again, he is going to make mistakes, and his mistakes are going to outshine others because he's aggressive. He is a playmaker. Every time the puck's on his stick, he is thinking play. It's never safe. But his decision making is quick, and his execution is getting better.
Mm-hmm.
So, good for him. You know, the people that wanted to burn him at the stake early, relax. You're still going to get another opportunity at some point in time to do that again with him. It's going to happen, but he does things out there that a ton of people can't do. And so, given time, it should be pretty impressive. So,
there's no should. It will happen. I'm a firm believer. It will happen.
Okay. Can you still see me?
Yeah.
I got to put my darkness on because I think I'm losing battery quickly.
Scary. Anything else you got on the Winnipeg game?
I do not. No. It was a great time. They really weren't in it. They made it kind of interesting, and we move on.
Yeah. And we have the Edmonton game, which I only saw glimpses of, I'm going to be honest. So, Krusty, what were your thoughts on Edmonton?
I've got written down here, fine.
Fine. Everything was fine.
Everything's fine. They played well. They didn't play great. They need to understand. Really can't go to the penalty box much against the Edmonton Oilers. So Edmonton scored, 2 power play goals.
We need to be disciplined, friends. It's like that's the running common theme right now.
Yeah, but I don't need them to be completely disciplined.
Like less penalties against teams that you shouldn't be in the box for.
Yeah.
But maybe this is a part of the new system.
They're being more aggressive. I don't want to curtail that in any way. I'd rather still have these mistakes for a good portion of the year as long as they're playing at the aggressive style. I mean, they're after everything, and that's when a lot of these penalties are coming.
So you're fine with the amount of penalties that they took during the home opener? As long as they're aggressive, you're okay with it?
I'm not fine with that. The home opener, there was like 2 other lazy stick penalties. I'm not okay with that. But I think you don't want to curtail the aggressiveness now. That's the process. This is what you want the team to start becoming. So I don't want to go nuts on it. I mean, it's looked better, this team. Its 5-on-5 numbers are just better.
Yeah.
So they're playing aggressive. Again, it's a hard power play to stop. And again, they got a point out of the game. Overtime, they already couldn't get off the ice. And that ended up being the killer. He was stuck out there for like a minute and a half at least.
That's a lot.
They still need to understand that in overtime, it's about puck possession. It's become that way. and you need to keep possession and make changes. They haven't quite figured that one out yet. Again, they'll get there. So
I love how we've switched where Krusty's now just drinking the Kool-Aid juice.
oh, Krusty is all over the Kool-Aid. It's a better product to watch. And 2 years in hell, yeah, I'm grasping at anything, man. No doubt about it. But it's been a better product to watch. They've had their chase. They're definitely a lot funner to watch this year than they have been in the last two. So, and you got a point in Edmonton. So,
yeah.
And then we went to Seattle
with my other favorite goaltender. And I feel like one of the more underappreciated, but is starting to become appreciated in the NHL, in Mr. Joey Daccord, who I thought played a great game. I know he didn't get the 2 goalie goals that he attempted, but
he did not.
Blackhawk aside, it's nice to see him play better, just because I do like the kid.
Yeah, they've been riding him. At the end of the day, I thought Bloom outplayed him. This game isn't close without Bloom. Bloom kept him in it. You can say maybe the one goal he should have had, he was nicely screened by his own guy.
Right.
Just kind of the way it is. But the only reason you were close was because of that guy. And again, that's the running theme with this team. If the goaltending is average, they're going to lose, no doubt about it. They're not good enough to win with average goaltending. They have to, and again, there's 2-on-1 plays that are too many, but they're figuring out the aggressive pinching of the defenseman. And, they got schooled on believe it or not, a Ryan Green lost draw and a beautiful power play by
Ryan Green doesn't lose draws. It's Game Green.
He did a couple times last night. Again, so you look at the whole trip, you haven't won a game.
Yeah.
This is more of what you're going to see. If it continues in this style, I'm wondering when 91 starts to get some of his vial thrown his way. I think he's another one that everybody's dug in on, and he won't be talked about for a while. But what that is what they're all finding out is they've got some talent, but this is a really hard league.
Yeah.
With really professional players who know what to do to win. And we are a team that does not know what to do to win. We're attempting to, that's what this year is. It's the learning year. We have enough excitement that it could make a difference. I mean, the Beacon of Hope's effort on their one goal.
Insane.
I mean, I jumped out of my seat and I went, that's it. That's what one of the other things that makes that kid just so frigging special.
Yes.
That was hustle. That was sticking his body on the line, and then a beautiful one-handed pass. So we're going to have our moments. It's just in the NHL, there's certain things you've got to do to win constantly. And we don't know what that is. We're just trying to figure out how to start handling this system and playing adult hockey, which we haven't played in a couple of years.
Also, speaking of this road trip and speaking of Connor Bedard, can other teams stop trying to whack him in the face with their stick?
They cannot.
This is the third time this year.
Well,
keep your sticks down.
They're not going to.
It's against Edmonton.
If he was taller, it would just be hitting him in the chest. So
he got one, and it looked like kind of light, but the speed in which Bedard snapped his head back, I was like, heck yes, you get us that power play.
Well, no, he's he gets it. And yes, I mean, if you're a superstar, which he will be, but he's considered right now, yeah, anything comes to your head, the head goes back.
Yeah.
So, we'll see what his contract looks like. I think everybody who was over the worried Bedard train has all left. They've all vacated that train. He's going to have a couple fleas maybe. So he might not be a top 5 player, but he's going to be a special player.
Absolutely.
And you need to understand that no matter what you think he should get paid, he's the reason most of those people are in the seats.
Yeah.
So, again,
because honestly, if you're not going to pay him obscenely, who are you paying?
Well, it's a business also.
Yeah.
I mean, he's filled your building for 2 years.
Yeah.
Just by himself. And again, he'll be able to, he does things that nobody else can do. And that shot's incredible. And his vision is very underrated. So they kept in the ball game, and him and the Barracuda got something special. And I do like Ryan with them also. So
Gang Green. I think we need a Gang Green jersey. Yeah. That might be a necessary purchase. In soon. Oh, is the Root 2 there? Hi, Root 2.
Root 2 just doesn't know what's going on and why we're just sitting out here, can't get inside. He's just looking at, aren't you just looking? Aren't you, Root 2? Okay, can't see Root 2. So that's all I've got.
Yeah, that's really all I have to. Just kind of the waiting game, I think, right now. We're not.
I was going to do a Krusty's Corner, but no, I'll skip.
Oh. Well, now you've intrigued, or do you want to do it next week?
Well,
when it's typically in the corner?
Huh?
Is it?
Well, usually it's a bad thing, but in Krusty's Corner right now will be the Bash and Pop. I'm a huge fan.
In love with him.
I think I am in love with him. He's doing all the right things. They're moving in the right direction. Again, I love the fact that finally everybody knows their role and everybody knows what's expected. And that hasn't happened in a couple of years. And I think with that coaching, just that aspect of it has made a huge difference for Connor Bedard. I think he has just decided, okay, I'm all in. That other guy ain't behind the bench anymore. That would be the whatever that guy's name was. Is still doing interviews, but I don't think he's doing really any kind of coaching. Thank God. But the progression right now, I like what he's doing. I like what he's preaching. He is not calling anybody out completely. And if you're going as a forward, you're getting a couple extra shifts with that 11-7 setup on the fourth line. And that could be anybody. It could be Bert. It could be the Beacon of Hope. It could be Ryan Green. He doesn't care. So, and that's a nice bone to be throwing people to. And I like the way he's handling his defenseman right now. So I'm happy the way he is conducting business right now. So that's why he's in the corner, and it's a good corner. Usually Krusty's Corner is bad and vile, but no, I've been told to be a good, loving Krusty.
There you go. All right, Krusty, you got anything else for this week?
I do not. Right. Do you?
No, I'm gonna hold my thoughts for a bit because we differ on some things, but I want to see how more things pan out before I get too critical on the show. All right then. Just as a reminder, friends, make sure to hit that like and subscribe on either Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, YouTube, however you watch or listen to us ramble on a weekly basis. If you have any questions, want us to talk about anything in particular, please shoot us an email at thehockeyprincess@gmail.com. We love questions, and I personally love every excuse that I can to dig out the whiteboard and break things down.
Yeah, you do.
If you are going to a game this year, please wait for the whistle. Do not get up all the pucks in play. Do not try to find your seats while the game is in play. just because, we're up by 4 and there's 7 minutes doesn't mean that you need to like just stand up near your seats and watch the game standing up, blocking everybody's view and taking 15 minutes to walk down the stairs because you don't want to watch the final 7 minutes. It's not nice to everybody else around you. And if you are going to a game, highly recommend Su Taqueria El Rey del Taco over on Ogden. The food's great. Everybody who works there is great. And it's only a couple of blocks away from the United Center. That is all. And we will talk at you guys next week.